Welcome to Panaloids, Comic Books, and More. Tonight we are talking with a very special guest. Born in Naptown, raised in the Twin Cities, and currently residing in the land of tea and imperialism, he is known for his run on Green Lantern, Harley Quinn, Dial H for Hero, Star-Lord, and we'll be talking to him tonight about his new run on the New Avengers. Ladies and gentlemen, keep your lights away from him. It's Sam Humphries!
Hey, what's up, boys? How y'all doing? What an intro that was. Incredible.
Thank you.
Professional. Yes.
Oh, Kyle, take a note. Anyway.
Yeah, Kyle, the boss.
Yes, literally the producer.
That's right.
Who actually didn't write that one. I did. So your latest run, New Avengers, is what we're here to talk about today, which is the team that consists of Bucky, Black Widow, Wolverine, Laura Kinney, Clea, Namor, Hulk, and Carnage. So interesting team. And you succeeded in doing one of the things that if I ever get the chance to become a comic book writer, which will never happen, but having a book solicited as one title and actually having it released as another is something that I've always thought of. So when did you realize that your new Thunderbolts comic was secretly New Avengers? Was that right from the start? Was that always the plan, or was that just kind of thrown upon you that we're going to change the title name?
No, that was right from the very beginning. That was from the start. Very first conversation I had with Marvel about this book, that was in the mix. I am not tapped into the MCU. I don't get to know MCU secrets. I didn't know anything about this movie that y'all didn't know, but I did know that at the end, they were going to be revealed as New Avengers. That's all I knew, and I was paranoid. I didn't tell anybody what I knew. I didn't even have a file on my computer that said New Avengers. Everything was titled New Thunderbolts. Absolutely. Even my music playlist, absolutely nothing said New Avengers. Because if some got out, wasn't going to be me. Was not going to be me. If I got hacked, absolutely not. No way. So this was the plan from the very, very beginning. Marvel did, because it's crazy that you said you've always wanted to do this, because it's never happened before. This is the first comic to actually do this. So Marvel had some logistical things to work out. But as far as on the creative end, or the conversations I was having with Alana and Sydney, my outstanding editors, this was always a New Avengers book. And by the time that I started scripting the first issue, they had it locked and loaded on their end, and it was a definite go. I did want to, I included some little head nods to Thunderbolts in the first issue, as y'all know.
You definitely did, which I enjoyed.
Because of the name change, but also because, we're picking up Bucky off a really incredible, phenomenal run by Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly that culminated in their two Thunderbolts books. And so I also really wanted to maintain some connection, some cartilage, some sinew between the two, because we're really, thanks to their outstanding work, we're picking up Bucky in a really great place.
I love how you use the word sinew there. As a massage therapist, that's the word that is in my vocabulary that not a lot of people get to say. So
you know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
As
it's
for
the stringy bits when you're eating a drumstick.
Yeah, fascia, sinew. Yeah. Well, you don't eat fascia. You don't eat meat, Kyle. So
yes, I still don't get it.
That makes sense.
All right. Yeah.
But as someone who used to work behind the counter, when I would get to the solicitations, when I would go, now no longer Diamond's website, if it was solicited as Thunderbolts and then it is a New Avengers book, I was curious how the ordering form would be and how that would affect things. Now, the fact that it's Random Penguin House, I've never seen the inside workings of the Random Penguin House ordering system, so I don't know if they would have been able to do it differently, but it is one of those things that is always in the back of my mind that I would have loved for a book to be solicited as something, and then when it hits the shelves be something completely different in title. Specifically, my case, I'm a big Valiant fan, and I have this great Shadow Man storyline in my head, but I would want it to be solicited as Shadow Man, but released as Shadow Men, because there'd be multiple.
That's cool. Ooh,
one letter difference versus an entire title change is quite the jump, but it's very
Right, yeah.
fascinating that you guys pulled that off. So
Well, it's crazy because I mean, I don't have to explain this to y'all, but the books are announced 3 months before they come out. You end up burning a lot of the oxygen before FOC, which is like 6 months or 6 weeks before the book comes out, something like that. And then, by the time the book actually comes out, often you're out of fuel. You're out of promotional opportunities. People have already heard about it. They've already seen so much about it. So I love any opportunity to game that system. Any opportunity to take the weaknesses of that system and turn them into strengths.
awesome.
So I was a big fan of New Avengers by Hickman back in the day.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
And I don't want to give spoilers, but there's some nods, and some variant covers also gave some, things away.
Yeah.
But just generally, I'm very excited for this book. You did let us
Thanks.
read it early. It is fantastic. I can't compliment enough. It's like what a superhero book is supposed to be. Like, it is so like intriguing, and I want more. It's literally easily my new favorite pull.
Oh man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
No, I'm. But what are you most excited for everyone to experience with us?
Boy, I don't know. That's a great question. I just, this book really felt right to me in a lot of ways. The more I just kind of trusted my gut, and instead of trying to like figure out the formula, or there needs to be this many fights per issue, this needs to be this many characters, or you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I didn't try to do a lot of looking at other books and being like, why is this book selling, or why do people love this book, or whatever. Like, I really try to just kind of rely on my own gut instinct and see, like, can I entertain myself with this book? And if I can just do that, maybe that'll be enough. So I'm very gratified to hear your response to it, because a lot of it I think is really cool. I think superhero fans are going to love it, but I, to a certain extent, was just kind of flying blind and talking to myself in a sense. But everything I approached, I was like, is this cool? Is this badass? Is this the most interesting way I could do this? Is this the craziest way I could do this? And kind of let that be my North Star. I also just, I'm very strong believer in that you can have a lot of action, you can have a lot of big set pieces, you can have a lot of weird stuff, you can have a lot of like crazy blah blah blah, but if you can't relate to the characters, then you don't have a book. Like, if you can't relate to the characters, then nobody cares. And if you as the writer can't relate to the characters, then you're fucked. Like, there's that. Can I swear on this live stream?
Oh yeah, you're good.
That's a
Yeah,
fuck
go
yeah,
for it.
you can swear. Fuck yes, you can swear on Panaloids.
That's right.
So I think maybe the thing I'm most excited for people to experience is just these characters like hanging out. Like, these characters getting on each other's nerves and making dumb jokes together and taking things personally and kind of hating each other, but also kind of loving each other. This is a group of people who should not be put together. If these characters are in a room together, you got to turn around and walk right out, because they spell nothing but trouble together, and they kind of all hate each other, but on different levels, each one of them feels a little bit normal hanging out with the rest of them. They feel a little bit more normal than they usually do. And I think that's really fascinating. Oh, in the Illuminati, they're a mess. I'm excited for people to check that out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was such a good idea. It was just, it's nice because like it's its own self-contained thing, but you still like made the little nods here and there to like what's going on with other events and like the past. Like, it really, really well done. And you kind of answered this question a little bit already, but specifically, like, the name change didn't help Jeremiah at all. as you know, he was
I
aggravated.
want it noted that
Jeremiah, I feel like you had a bit of
fan.
a bee in your bonnet
I may
about
have
this,
a little bit of
Mister. I've always wanted to do this. I have always imagined what this would be like to do a name change. This guy right here.
No. Oh, wait.
This guy
This was
right here
before the
went
name
off
change.
on a
This was before it was
RANT.
known.
Right, but
R.
he still has a
fuming.
problem.
You
So
were
first,
like you had steam coming out of your ears. I felt the heat.
I should do that in clips. Like add this team. So first, your Thunderbolts team aggravated him quite a bit, right? You got me some views. Then the name change was like, okay, Jeremiah,
Avenger.
are you happy now? Now the problem is Carnage. Now he's like, why is Carnage on an Avengers team?
And
Great
so
question.
I've mentioned this to a lot of people. We've had a lot of discussions with people like comic book stores. Pierre's brought it up on the podcast. It's not Carnage. It's Eddie. What's the name of the symbiote? It's still Carnage. So like a murderous symbiotic
It's
creature
different,
being an Avenger, but I'm excited to see how you pull it off. I am excited to see how you pull it off.
Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right. It's Carnage. Carnage is Carnage. But I'm lucky in that Carnage and Eddie, they come as a pair. I get both characters at the same time, and I'm also lucky because Charles Soule put them together. And Charles Soule is writing the Carnage book, and that guy knows this shit. He's very smart, very talented, super good dude. So the status quo is all the credit goes to him for that. I think it's so fascinating. I think it's so cool, and I think it puts. We've seen a lot of Eddie and we've seen a lot of Carnage, but we've never seen either of these characters do what they're doing now. We've never seen Carnage be a ringleader, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've never really seen that. We've never seen Eddie really try to figure out what is the good thing to do, what is the right thing to do. And I think that's such a fascinating friction there. And yeah, Carnage is off kilter, unpredictable, absolutely murderous. In and of himself, not Avengers material. Eddie Brock, in and of himself, he's just a failed photojournalist, not Avengers material. But you put the two of them together, and they have a fighting chance. And I mean, the question,
flavor,
yeah. Exactly. The question, how can Carnage be an Avenger? That's a fantastic question. And if only somebody has been working their ass off to write a comic book that would explain the answer to this question. If only this comic book was on sale June 11th for you to pick up and see the answer for yourself.
I needed that clip. Thank you.
That is a hell of a plug. Thank you. So it definitely feels like you have a really strong understanding of each of these characters. The dialogue definitely shows it, especially in the first issue. We got some very fun dialogue between Wolverine and Namor, specifically. Which members are you excited to see fans interact with you were excited to write the dialogue for? What I want to say is like how you brought so far, because we've only got the first issue, how you've brought in the team together is really, really interesting to me. I don't want to spoil anything, but we're all not there yet.
Yeah.
In the first issue. And one of the ways that you set up one of the members, and I'm being vague for a reason, was so interesting because it's not a connection to the team itself, it's a connection to the Illuminati. So that was cool. Like, because that was another one of my thoughts. Like, they fit, but how do they fit with the rest of them? And that's perfect. Like that, the way that you brought that character in, or will be bringing that character in, I thought was brilliant. So
yeah,
what are you most excited for?
One of the things I love about the Illuminati, the original Illuminati, is that they each represent different corners of the Marvel universe. And that's what I wanted to do with this new Avengers team. Except instead of these like noble heroes and kings, you have just these like badasses and bastards. These broken nose fighters, throwing elbows.
Was that the original name that got scrapped? The Badass Bastards, or
the Badass Bastards? Yeah. They're like, we think Avengers is a good title. They're like, we've been road testing the name Avengers here and there for some time, and we believe it's time for this title to, catch some sunshine. But one of the great things about it is that when you have a team like that, you can pull in threats or allies or artifacts or powers or aspects from all these different areas of the Marvel universe, and the Illuminati work in the same way as well, because they reflect the original Illuminati, who also came from 7 different corners of the Marvel universe. So yes, to what you're saying is that the new Avengers and the Illuminati over time are kind of creating each other.
For sure. I 100% am picking up what you're putting down, and I know that the readers will definitely pick that up with the first issue of how it's all going to be shaping out.
No spoilers, yeah.
Doing our best not to spoil it, but it was
so
very,
hard
very
though.
good.
It's so hard not to say spoilers.
Well, see, like I don't know like what I am allowed to say, but it's really cool that you used a traditional Spider-Man villain against no one in the Spider-Man like mythos right out the gate, which when they showed up, I was just like, wait a goddamn second.
That was a little too close,
like,
Jeremiah. You got a little too close to spoiler there. I didn't like that. That's too close. Calm down.
I was just excited to see them because it's not a character that is used super often, and when they are used, it's
you're making it worse.
Going to be a very interesting take. I'm being vague. I'm being vague enough.
I have no idea what you're talking about, and I wrote the damn thing. I don't know what you mean.
So we definitely get to read it early. Obviously, we've been discussing that.
I'm so proud of that.
The Illuminati revealed on the variant covers. Is there anything that you would like to tease with our viewers about the Illuminati? Maybe their ringleader of sorts or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean it's difficult to say without spoiling. What we said so far is that the Illuminati are duplicates. I think it's clear so far from the variant covers that these are distorted versions of the heroes that we know. They're demented even. And we've said that the ringleader is Iron Apex. That's what he calls himself. And he, the new Avengers team is like a powder keg waiting to explode, and Bucky's going to have his handful trying to keep that team together. But Iron Apex is also going to have his hands full trying to keep the Illuminati together. Like, they both have very difficult jobs in a way that mirror each other.
And the best part is, even with this first issue, just because they're alternate versions doesn't mean they're less powerful. They've proven to be just as powerful.
They are heavy hitters. They're heavy hitters for sure. Yeah, they are just as powerful, even if their powers don't quite work the same. Like, their power sets are likewise demented and likewise distorted.
But the levels are there.
but they're still heavy hitters. And that's one thing that led me to, the concept of, the evil Illuminati or whatever. It's like, I have some real heavy hitters on my team. I have some real heavy hitters on the new Avengers. I mean, if you have Hulk and Namor and Clea, that's a lot of power right off the bat. That's a ton of power. And if you have a team that's strong, you have to have a threat that can push back on them convincingly. And that's why I was like, well, the Illuminati, they're pretty damn powerful. Like, that's the point of that team. So why don't we just draw on that as well?
Speaking of drawing, the art on the book is fantastic. Tone Lima's interiors, Rain Brito's colors, and Steven Segovia's colors, and then Steven Segovia's covers. Can you tell us anything about the creative collaboration? Did you choose any of the members of the team because it's what Ton wanted to use or Ton wanted to draw or what have you?
No, I think by the time that Ton came on, the team was set. But he was very enthusiastic right off the bat, which kind of like was a really good sign. It was a really good omen for the future. It was like, yeah, this is the guy. Like if you look at this team and you're that excited about it, then you're the guy. You're the one who's going to draw this. And Tan is just, I mean, his work on this issue, I mean, you guys know, I mean, it looks incredible. I was excited from the get-go. I'd seen some of his pages. I saw the issue of West Coast Avengers that he did with Jerry Dugan, and I thought it was great. I was very excited. But when he started turning in the inks for New Avengers, I was really blown away. I got so excited. I really felt like he dipped right into the New Avengers vibe right off the bat. I think like he brought so much of this atmosphere to life. And, you know, I told him, I was like, we're aiming for like a Fast and Furious vibe. And I was like, you should watch all those movies over and over and over again. And you look at the art and it kind of feels like he did. It kind of feels like he watched the Fast and Furious movies over and over and over again, and it demented him a little bit. Like it just sent him over the edge just a little bit.
We can feel family is what we can feel.
Exactly. It's about family and Corona.
Yeah, no, the art really, I was just thoroughly, it just, again, what I was saying earlier, like, it just, what a superhero book's supposed to be, it just all fits together so nicely. And
yeah, I mean,
yeah, no,
this is really like, I mean, wouldn't you say like a real sort of like superstar in the making moment for him?
Oh yeah. I felt like, why didn't I hear this name before? And I'll admit that, like, I was like, how have I not seen this artist before? Like, how have I not seen anything? Like, did I miss it? You know?
Yeah.
Like, am I doing too much over here and missing things? Like, so yeah, no, this is
we got in early.
Yeah,
we're very lucky to have him.
It's very cool, very cool. With superhero teams like this, right? Thunderbolts, Avengers, New Avengers, all of them. They have a bit of a changing, evolving roster. I mean, it's still early, but if you could maybe hint or just say no, can we see characters beyond the covers that have been revealed in the issues to come?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, there's at least one Illuminati has not been revealed.
Oh.
I will say we have not seen the final form of some of these Illuminati.
I didn't think about that.
I will say that the team lineup, as you said, still coming together, but the team lineup is pretty set, but for now, not forever. So again, I'm like speaking very delicately, very precisely, without revealing anything or spoiling anything, but you know, the nature of any super team is change, and especially one with personalities this volatile. Not everybody's gonna want to stick around the whole time.
Yeah, I see this as a long run. Like, I see this as at least 24 issue run. Just again, this is
why stop there, Kyle?
Listen,
why not 124 issues?
From what you've shown us so far,
324 issues. Come on.
I mean, if Marvel will let you run that far, I would buy every issue.
Well, we're talking legacy the way they are. You'll have a few more number ones, but still, just keep going.
7 number ones, but it's 320 issues.
As long as more keeps coming, it's fine.
Well, all jokes aside, thank you very much for that vote of confidence. I really appreciate it. And we are thinking big, and we are thinking long term. Like we are locked in on the first 2 arcs and what those arcs are going to be. I've got notes for the 3rd arc, the 4th arc, the 5th arc, and beyond. There are lots of conversations happening, a lot of stuff going back and forth. You know, talking about the team lineup, this team concept, I basically bought us just an ongoing problem, just an incredible set of coordination. 7 different characters from 7 different corners of the Marvel Universe means like 5 different editorial offices to coordinate with. Bless my editors, Alana and Sydney. They didn't even flinch when I mentioned this. Maybe they flinched when we weren't on Zoom together, but you know, I really just created a concept that meant we would have so much coordinating to do. but so the conversations are happening, and they are very, very far reaching. I'll put it that way.
I love the idea of you getting off Zoom and your editor saying on is like, is he stupid? Like, does he
You're
know
like,
what we have
"This
to do now?
fucking idiot." To be like, he's gonna hate this. What? He's gonna be the least. Now I gotta like talk to. God.
So let's take a small step back.
right.
So you've done plenty of team books and you've done plenty of solo series. What is the most difficult thing and what is the most rewarding thing about writing team books versus solo series? Because like you were mentioning, you're balancing so many different personalities. Is that fun for you? Is that harder for you? Is it more challenging yet rewarding? Like, how do you feel about team versus solo works?
Yeah, I would say the best and the worst things about a team book are the same. The best thing is having all these characters to bounce off of, and the worst thing is having all these characters to like to maintain. I did. There's at one point was doing 2 team books at Marvel at the same time. I was doing Uncanny X-Force and Avengers AI, and I was like, I am done. After these books, I'm never doing a team book again. And of course, little by little, I came around, but now I just like fast forward in the situation where I'm not only doing a team book, I'm doing a team book with 2 teams, because I've got New Avengers and I got the Illuminati, and there's 7 members of each, so I got 14 characters to babysit. That's why I'm the head wrangler, New Avengers. That's how I earned that title. Because, but on the other hand, if you're like stuck or you need something funny to happen, or a light moment, or an emotional moment, or a sexy moment, or a moment with a lot of friction and high intensity, all you got to do is put 2 characters in a panel together and let them talk. Like they're always going to do something that's fun or surprising or intense, or so especially when you have personalities like these, which is why I picked them. These are it's a powder keg of a team. These are characters who a lot of them are used to working on their own. Most of them aren't used to taking orders. Most of them don't take shit from nobody. Like they're gonna bump up against each other very quickly.
Speaking of teams bumping up against each other, a little bit of a fun question for you.
Where
no,
is this going?
No, I don't want to give that spoiler. No, we're not going to give that spoiler.
Yes, sir.
So Jed MacKay is writing Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
You're writing New Avengers. So his team is Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Vision, Captain Marvel, Iron Man, Black Panther, and Storm. It's pretty heavy hitter team.
Heavy hitter team. Mm-hmm.
Could your team take their team? Who would win? The over under. Who you got?
All day, all week, all year, New Avengers, baby. I gotta back my team. I gotta back my crew. We would mop the floor with Jed's team. Are you kidding me? It would be over. They get in the ring with him and they think, what am I doing here? Why are we fighting these New Avengers? I mean, look at them. This is crazy. I mean, all right, fine. There might be a couple characters on his team that are powerful. Jed's actually got an incredible lineup. I mean, his run is so great. It's so awesome. But it really made me want to come up with a team that fought a little dirtier.
100%. It is definitely
and badasses.
Yes.
Like he's got all these like they're like do-gooders that are heroes. I mean, they're amazing characters. I love the characters. I'm making fun of them a little bit, but they gaze at the stars and say something philosophical. My team doesn't do any of that shit. You know what I mean? Like they're like, pass me the wings. Like, where's the hot sauce? I'm not trying to like philosophize about whatever. So I think that would give my team the advantage. I think my team would have less of a problem beating the shit out of a friend. Like
when Kyle wrote this question, I pictured them on the opposite sides of a wrestling ring and immediately just thought that every one of the New Avengers could hit a low blow and none of the Avengers could.
All of them hit a low blow. And some of those Avengers, it would take them a couple low blows before they're like, okay, I guess I will also throw low blows as well. You know, like here we are. So I think also New Avengers, they're scrappier. They are the underdog team. I think they want it more. I think they got that fire in their belly. I think that's what's going to carry them to the very end of that fight.
They got the dog in them for sure.
They do.
At the
They really
top
do.
of the interview, you mentioned that on your personal laptop there was nothing named New Avengers. Everything was New Thunderbolts,
Nothing.
and you
Absolutely
specifically said something that caught my ear for a second. Specifically, you said your playlists were named
Yes.
New Thunderbolts. What playlists were used, or what theme song would this New Avengers have?
Boy.
If you had to pick a theme song.
Yeah. The playlist is just my own playlist that I put together, and I threw together a bunch of songs that I thought would really get me in the mood. I also do listen to like a lot of DJ mixes. But if I had to pick one, the one that's really been doing it for me on this title is a song by Oasis. It's not one of the well-known Oasis songs. It doesn't even necessarily sound like Oasis. And the title of the song is Fucking in the Bushes. But it's a great song. It's got an incredible beat. It's got some nasty, nasty guitar work. It doesn't even have traditional vocals. I don't know if Liam was doing anything on that song. Maybe he was just working the tambourine. And they're like, yeah, just keep going with that. But like the mic's not really on, like that sort of thing. It has samples in it. It's a track that is a lot of fun. It was actually in Snatch. If you guys ever saw Snatch, the Guy Ritchie movie. It's the second
It's
movie
been a
that
long
he did.
time, but yeah.
It's in that. That's how I first got turned on to that track.
Interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
So you said "Fucking in the Bushes" by Oasis.
Fucking in the Bushes. Yep.
To put that in the Discord later.
So New Avengers takes off. Everyone's loving this book, obviously. And Marvel comes to you and says, we need a solo book now from one of these team members. Who are you picking to go a solo series on? Because I don't
know.
If my research is done correctly, you haven't done a solo series of any of these characters.
No, never. I haven't done much writing of any of these characters at all. I did not come to this title with a lot of firsthand knowledge of these characters. I've written some in bits and pieces, but never like their own solo title. I don't think any of them has been a consistent member of any team that I've worked on. Boy, I'm gonna go a little rogue here, and I'm gonna edit your question. I'm gonna say that I wouldn't necessarily be like, I want to write a solo book. The other thing is that most of these characters have a solo book that's already kicking ass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna look at Phil Kennedy Johnson's Hulk book and be like, well, I can do better than that. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing great. I'm not gonna get in his way. Erica Schultz with Wolverine, come on, she's killing it. Like, so if this book is doing well enough for a spin-off, I would do another team book, and it would be the Illuminati.
Oh, okay. All right. I like the idea of that. I thought you were going to go with, well, everyone's got a solo series, but Clea. So,
oh, yeah.
Going to go with Clea. Which, I mean, with your Harley Quinn run, which was fantastic, I can see you doing Clea book that's just as good. Because Clea, if my knowledge is correct, has never had an ongoing. I don't even think she's had a mini. Really?
I don't. It was not called Clea. I think it was called. It was called Strange or Sorcerer Supreme or something. But Jed MacKay's run, he had an extended period of time where it was just Clea and not Doctor Strange.
I was going to say she took over.
She took over.
Yeah, but it was his name on the title, right?
God, I'm blanking now what they actually called it. Yeah, it wasn't called Clea. It was called like Strange or Sorcerer Supreme. It was not called Doctor Strange. Okay. I feel like Kyle's on this right now. Kyle's gonna get to the bottom of this.
No, I moved on already.
He's preparing for his next question. So yeah, I would love to see, because obviously with the Illuminati, we have, like you said, 7 members. So right out the gate, there's 7 story arcs that you could possibly do. And so
Absolutely.
going into a spin-off series team book, as much as you loved doing 2 team books the first time around, doing 2 team books the second time around should be just as good.
I'm just doing 1 book. I'm only getting paid for 1 book, but I'm writing 2 teams. I'm shooting myself in the foot. This is a fool's errand. I blew it.
Since we don't have our fearless host Pierre, it's only right, Sam, that we put you to work as well. So we have some fan comments.
Yeah.
If you'd like to read and respond to your own question here.
Well, I got a question. Where is this Pierre at?
Pierre's working real hard. Might be
working
sitting
his
at a bar.
Job? Instead of being here?
I know this should be his only job. I pay him enough. You would think.
This is the Paneloids live stream.
I know.
This isn't the Paneloids recorded at a previous date stream.
No, we only do that
You gotta
once
be
in a while.
on point when the stream goes live. You can't be off at your place of employment. And also, I'm here. Pierre, if you're tuned in right now listening, I got one thing to say to you, buddy. Your priorities are out of whack. You need to get your shit together. You get your
Louder.
shit straight.
Louder.
Working your job, making a living. We're talking to Avengers here. We just don't do this every day. It's only a weekly show. Come on, Pierre.
Thank you.
Shaking my damn head.
Give me some great clips.
So, since Pierre isn't around, I guess I gotta read this out loud myself. Okay. King Strange asks, what can we expect from your Namor? This is a big Namor fan and fan of your previous work, especially AI. Assume that's Avengers AI. Very excited for your take. Well, King Strange, I'm having a blast writing Namor. I love writing Namor. I'm very lucky in that we're just coming right on the heels of Jason Aaron's Namor mini, which is fantastic. If y'all haven't read it out there, it's awesome. And it's like a character redefining mini, which is fantastic because Jason knows his shit. He knows what he's doing. He took Namor and, put him through his paces and gave him a new MO and a new place in the world. And I just get to take this like perfectly like crafted little character and run with it. So now that, Jason has put Namor where he should be, it's all so nice and neat. It just makes me want to fuck it all up. It makes me want to take Namor and really put him through his paces and put him in situations where he's not quite sure what he's going to do. So that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these characters sometimes. I'm like, oh, isn't it nice that Bucky and Nat are in love? I really do think it's nice. I really do think it's nice. I really love them as a couple. I ship them. I think they're really good for each other. And I think they should be together. And I think it's so nice that something in me just wants to fuck it up. Something in me wants to put it to the test. Stress test it and see how much it can take. Because I think they're a great couple together. But the true test comes in the challenges that they're going to have to face. And they're going to have some big challenges coming up.
Okay. I like it. So, not speaking again of that spoiler scene of the couple in love, but a little bit on the other side of things when it comes to the violence. So we actually had Chris Condon on last week, and he's been Ultimate Wolverine, and he even admitted he was surprised that Marvel put a teen rating on his book because it's rather vicious. So is there anything, because Marvel's been doing great, really been they're on a roll as of late. And part of it is, I think, some of the freedoms it seems that they're allowing to a lot of the creators, and they're just letting them go off. So is there
Yeah.
anything that you did or we're going to see in the series that you were surprised Marvel didn't question you, or anything you got away with that you were like, oh, that's different, that you kind of got to push the envelope a little bit and we're happy about it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't go into it trying to push the envelope. I don't really know. You know, I don't know every creator. I don't kind of know where necessarily the standards have been at recently. I just know the books, you know, and I didn't come into it thinking like, well, I'm really gonna like push this or push that. But I did know what I wanted the book to feel like, and I did know what I wanted the vibes to be like, and I wanted the action to be fast, and I wanted it to be hard hitting. I wanted the action to be tight, you know. I wanted it to be like framed tight. I wanted it to be like you were right up in there, in that scrum, in that mess, you know, like you could feel like the Illuminati's breath breathing down your neck. But I also, you know, we've got some very hot people in this book, very, very good looking babes, you know, and I wanted a lot of eye candy for everybody. And I wanted to have some situations where, you know, these characters are canoodling, doing some hardcore canoodling together. It you know, going back to the Fast and the Furious influence, you know, hard hitting action, and a lot of sexy people getting sexy together. That's kind of the vibe that I wanted. And I don't know that I felt like I was pushing things, but I never really got any pushback from Marvel either. There is a joke, I think it's in issue 4, that if they let me get away with it, I don't know that I'm really like trying to sneak anything through. But I was like, how can I not at least type this in the script and see if they flinch or not? But if they get it through, it's gonna be pretty amazing.
I do got to give credit to Ton, who made me do a double take. I think it's the either third or fourth page where both Bucky and Nat, I was like,
Yeah.
damn.
Mm-hmm.
Like in back-to-back
good.
panels, you're like, here we go. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Classic good girl, bad girl art with both the male and female characters, which is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is there any other projects that you would like to mention? And where can we hear about these projects? Like, where can we follow you other than, you know, in your neighborhood?
You can try to follow me in my neighborhood, but I'm a fast walker. You're not gonna be able to keep up. I live in London. You gotta walk fast. You know, this is a walkable city. If you are walking slow on the pavement, you are gonna get some very reserved, stern stares. So you will not be keeping up with me in the neighborhood. But you can keep up with me online. I am at Sam Humphries on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky and Threads and probably a bunch of those other places as well. And yeah, I'd love to plug a bunch of other stuff that I'm working on, but I don't think there's anything I can talk about. I've been doing a bunch of press for New Avengers, and there's nothing right now that I can plug, unfortunately, but a lot of cool stuff that I'm very excited to be working on. A bunch of stuff in comics and some stuff outside of comics. And so just when you see them announced in the future, just remember this moment and remember that I said it's gonna be amazing.
Which means
whatever the announcement is, just remember that I said it's gonna rule.
And when we see them, you get an email. Whether you'll respond is up to you, but that's gonna be like time to come back.
The email is gonna say, "I saw you in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You didn't say hi. I called your name, and I know that you heard me, but you just kept walking very fast,
and I couldn't.
You didn't have your earbuds in. I have a very loud voice. I know that you saw me."
All right, give us like a final kind of plug. Any shout outs you want to give to any part of the team? Final thoughts? Anything that we didn't ask you want to bring up? This is your moment.
I don't know. I think you brought up everything. I just, I'm having a real blast with this title and this team. and with Ton, and it's just been oh wait, did I miss a question right there?
Just a compliment.
Hey!
You've been getting quite a few, actually.
Thank you, Captain Chaos. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just having the greatest time, and I feel like people who read it are gonna have a great time too. And I just can't wait for people to see what it's like to be on the road, to be on the journey with these 7 characters, because it ain't gonna be easy.
I want to just say one of my favorite like comic tropes in history: these hard traveling heroes.
Hard traveling heroes. That's right. Yeah, and in this arc, this first arc do be going around the world. We do be going to a lot of different places.
I'm ready for it. Like you said, 300-400 number ones. I'm ready for it.
Now we're talking, Kyle. Now we are talking. 24 issues. That's in the dust.
Yeah. This is staple now. This is a monthly staple. I expect
that's
rest of my life. That's it.
That's right. I'm here for you. I'm here for
The
you.
first issue releases
June 11th.
FOC is
already passed.
Okay.
FOC.
I thought we hit FOC.
No,
FOC. FOC was right after they announced the name change.
Okay, because that's the way to do it, is right after.
But everybody watching, everybody listening, anybody who can hear my voice right now, you all need to contact your local comic book store. You need to. I want to hear the tippy type, the clacking of your keyboards as you email. I want you to be texting. I want you to open up your WhatsApp and text in your comic book store. I want you to actually go the distance and place a real live phone call with another human being. I know it's intimidating. I hate doing it too. But sometimes these comic book retailers, they're just stocking books all day long. They want some human connection. They want somebody to talk to. So give them a call. Give them a text. Tell them you gotta have New Avengers #1. You will not regret it.
I like it. All right, and real quick, last question: any conventions or signings you're doing?
No. I have nothing.
I was ready to get a plane ticket.
Exactly. No, actually, don't. Unexactly. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
Being in the air right now is a bad idea.
Don't be coming to my neighborhood, is what I'm saying. If you come to my neighborhood waving 1 copy of Avengers #1, I swear to God. Now look, if you're waving 20, then I will sign them. If you're buying
I'll have a CGC
bulk,
witness too.
then I'll be happy to see you. Yeah. Bring a witness. There's got to be a witness here in London.
Yeah.
Come on. They're an international company. Mm-hmm.
Jeremiah, do you have any unproofread outro you want to do? You want to just swing it?
No. Just thank you so much, Sam, for coming from all the way
thank y'all for
across
having me. This is a lot of fun. Yeah.
We put our strobe lights away just for you, so that was nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And we are really, really excited for everyone to get to experience what we experienced within this first issue of New Avengers and this ongoing. It's going to be awesome. And thank you so much for spending your time with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. And sorry for the outro.